There are happy songs this time, I promise.
Lay down your head and close your eyes.
One thing you'll notice since the first release in 2009 is that the songs have taken on a more folk yet alternative sound, and Bruce and I have worked to incorporate more percussion and a rockier beat to the ones that just needed more energy. Without Bruce, this project would not feel like it had truly come from me. He has this way of understanding my gibberish. When I know how I want something to be, it's in there, and he can take my crazy explanations and just come up with this experimental idea or effect, and the result is just astounding to me. These songs have become so much more than I'd first imagined.
Well, how did I get so lucky to be Adrienne's recording engineer? Well, not only is she an amazing singer, but because she has this warm, lovely voice, but also she creates these beautifully crafted songs, which you'll hear on the album. And I think she's a skilled arranger. You'll hear all kinds of interesting musical parts going in and out of the songs. And I'm surprised to find out she's a golden ear. She can hear tiny little things in the soundtrack that we're working on, like tiny little changes in reverb level or whatever. She knows just what she wants to hear. And on top of that, she's just a great person. So I hope to capture more of her great music in the future. The way we've been working together is she would normally bring in a song on her keyboard and play it, and we would record it, and or else she would come in with a acoustic guitar and play that, and we would record that, and then go back and add her vocal while she's listening to the pre-recorded track. That's called overdubbing. And after we got that foundation, I might add electric bass to it, drums, something like that. And then she often comes back in and adds all kinds of other instruments, which are usually in my computer, where all the sounds are. There's violins and all kinds of neat things, cellos and organs and all kinds of strange synthesizer sounds. And you'll hear those on the album.
This project is huge. The track list is 18 songs, and it's a challenge to put that much together and get just the right mix. I went back to my high school days for this one and pulled up a few original songs that were still very relevant to my life and the changes that continue to happen. I also chose some songs that are nothing like my own life. Yes, Lillian finally made it onto a CD, and what can I say about it? It is the longest and most violent song I have ever written. If you listen carefully, you will catch 6 different deaths within the lyrics. So yeah, pretty dark, but it's also the story about an emotionally strong young girl who refuses to go as a servant to the house of the Baron Gilles de Rais of France in the 1400s. Those who have studied the real guy know that this Baron was one of the worst serial killers of all time. It's of course Celtic, one of my favorite writing styles, and certainly not the only style you will find on this CD. Growing up in such a small place as Milford, Indiana, you tend to spend a lot of your free time wishing you could leave. But it's not that the town is bad in any way. The people are nice, it's quiet, it's somewhat safe. But it's also good to dream big. That's what I've done a lot of in the last 2 years. On this album, you're going to hear quite a bit on the subjects of running away and flying and wings and feathers, and just a lot about the natural desire to want to see more than your little boxed up world that you know and love. I am still living in my hometown. I have been working a lot. Last year I released an all-digital CD. I took up archery, something I had been wanting to do for a few years but just didn't have the time. Still barely have the time. My niece has grown so much and way too fast. She's almost 3. She's a major talker now. She still can't say my name very clearly, and she calls me Aunt Ogan. So whenever I hear Ogan or Aiden, then that's my cue, and I know that I have not been spending nearly enough time with her, or that I'm not paying nearly enough attention. For someone so small, she is the biggest blessing in my life so far, and it makes sense for her to also be a major inspiration to the music. I want to share this project with everyone I know, and especially those I don't, and not just for me. They're not just my stories I'm singing about, and I want so much for her to grow up knowing exactly who her Aunt Adrienne is, and that I've been there, I've made mistakes, and that no matter what she goes through, she always has someone to talk to about it.
Yeah, dude.
The title track definitely was written while I was outside, preparing for Chris Valillo's Hickory Ridge concert series in Illinois. I had had a particularly confusing past few weeks. All of that confusion just started to pour out onto an empty notebook paper, and a very emotional piece was born from that. I believe that as people, bad mistakes come so naturally and easily to us, but we all come to an age when we have to draw our own do not cross lines. So much can change in so little time. It takes only one instant for a mistake to come back and affect more than just you. There are 3 ways I cope. I write about it, I talk about it, and I sing about it. Everything about me and the things I've witnessed up until now can be found within these words. And much like flying, being honest to myself and to everyone whose path I cross, it's a very freeing feeling. The only way to be happy.
Someday the world will surely spin